I've been working at the same high profile company for over 25 years, where I started as a full time freelancer. About 10 years ago, I received full time benefits in a newly created department as manager, headed up by a male VP and his female consultant. The VP recently retired, and the woman in the consultant position was named head. I've had some difficulty getting along with this person in the past, and am worried about what my future holds with her. I find her overbearing and perhaps a narcissist. From offhand comments she's made in the past, I'm sure she doesn't like me either. Recently, she even stoops to publicly reprimand me during a full department Zoom call with 46 people for political comments I made that she didn't like. I felt singled out and humiliated. She herself in public meetings has described herself as a dictator, not a tyrant. Ooh. While I have constantly earned great annual reviews and receive accolades for the department as head, I have never been promoted from manager to director. I feel like a failure in this regard, especially since people who were hired after me have received such promotions. The real challenge now is that I am 63 years old and full retirement benefits are awarded at age 66.6. So got a little while to go. I hope to keep my job until then. I'm feeling overwhelmed at facing the future of the pandemic, my horrible relationship with the VP, and my job. Can you help me with resources to research and insight to cope? I appreciate your help. Kind regards, Peace Seeker.
Yeah. So this is another one of those great examples where we've got a boss, and we're just not jiving with her or him. In this case, in some ways, we have a little bit of an advantage in this situation. In this way, the boss is actually anointed and been very transparent about their view of themselves as a dictator. I believe that's what you said, Whitney. I'm looking at my notes. You said a dictator. As a dictator, not a tyrant, right? Okay. A dictator, not a tyrant. But essentially, they're saying, "Hey, I'm the one in charge. The buck stops with me, and this is not a committee, and it's not a democracy, and in many ways, I don't even care what your opinion is." So and the other part about this too is, not only is that a leadership style, that's also how they want to be seen. So They want to be seen as sitting on a throne. So we need to recognize that too. So humility is not really a value that is of interest to them. They want to be seen as respected and in high regard, and with titles and authority to support that, as would any good dictator. So while we might not like that, no one signs up to say, I'd love in my next job, I'd love a boss that's like a dictator. That'd be great. Has been said by no one ever. Okay. So while that's true, we at least know what we're working with. So we have that as an advantage. All right. So I'm going to put on my therapist hat for a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the dictator mindset. I gave a little bit of insight into that, but Whitney, I'm going to throw it out there for you for a little armchair psychology. What is a dictator? How do they want to be treated every day? What are things that they would really like to get each day, and what would be things that would upset them each day?
Yeah, I really feel like you said it best. They want to be treated like they're on a pedestal, and I feel like dictators would really like to be surrounded by yes men.
Beautiful, excellent. So up on a pedestal, highly respected, highly regarded, and yes men. Exactly. Okay, so we can develop some really good survival strategies that we can work with. That's another nice thing about having that dictator persona, is that it's not too difficult to create some survival strategies. Many people have worked for either real life dictators or pseudo dictators for years and years and years and found survival strategies. So the first technique that I would recommend for this reader and listener is what I always recommend in situations like this, and that's clarify expectations. So it's to sit down first with this boss and say, it's really important to me to meet and exceed all of your expectations this year. Would love to have some conversation with you about what those are. What would you like to see from me? What would success look like? But more importantly, and I would add this in, really important line, but more importantly, what could I do to really help you become more successful? What would success look like for you this year? And how can I help you achieve it?